My brother,
Yo, what's going on?
not much. You can hear me well?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. You definitely can hear you. Definitely. You doing all right today, man?
Can't complain, man. How about you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm definitely excited because you allowed me to get a chance. You took some time out your busy schedule to let your boy interview you, man.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
Definitely. So we can go ahead and get started, man. All right, man. This is Jacoby Browder, aka Jacoby X, the leader of the Him movement, having infinite motion. And we here with a great guy today. Legend to me, because it was a great movie that I seen.
Say all that.
Hey, hey, man, hey, you a legend in the making, bro. Because the information that you put that you provided in this movie was definitely what's needed and very entertaining as well. So I'm gonna let this guy introduce himself so y'all can know who you're dealing with. You know, I know a lot of y'all seen the movie They Cloned Tyrone, which was a great film, definitely a great film, and you had one of my favorite actors and entertainers in general, Jamie Foxx. So I'm definitely glad I got to sit down with you, man. But introduce yourself, man. Let these folks know who you are and what you do, my brother.
Uh, Juel Taylor, and I wrote and directed that Clone Tyrone.
Yeah, I already know he wrote and directed They Clone Tyrone. Where you let these folks know where you from, though, man. This is great.
I'm from Tuskegee, Alabama.
The Tuskegee, Alabama. The Tuskegee, Alabama. I love that you're from Tuskegee because that's one of my favorite cities as well. I was a graduate and a football player at Tuskegee. So and I love the city really more than I love the school though, for real, because I love the city. Yeah, I definitely got a little good face card down there, man. So I love Tuskegee, man. I'm pretty sure you know City Red down there.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's you know, I don't be in Tuskegee as much anymore as I used to be, but
Yeah.
I went to St. Joseph. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
back then it was Tim's, but I think it's a different. I think Tim's got a different name now. And I think St. Joseph, the main church part burnt down. So I don't even
Yeah.
know if it's the same from when I was a kid. But
Yeah.
yeah, I lived in Tuskegee till I was 9, and then moved to Montgomery. And so I would be in Tuskegee up until I graduated high school. I was there all the time. My older sister went to TU too, so
Oh, okay. What year she graduated?
she graduated in 2000 and 2002.
Oh, 2002. Okay, I got that. 2010, and I graduated 2015.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right, so like I said, my platform is called Having Infinite Motion. We know infinite means continuous and limitless, and we already know what motion means us as the younger generation. What how we put our spin on things, and we got motion. But to me, like motion is definitely purposeful and progressive things that we doing to impact ourselves, our community, and the people around us, and sparking the interest of our next generation as well. So, we're gonna go ahead with these questions, man. What is your motion? What is your aspect of work, your expertise of work?
So I'm in the film industry. So I mean, I would say it's writing, screenwriting, directing mostly, and hopefully we get into a little bit of producing as it goes on. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? In the immediate motion, I would say is screenwriting and directing for sure.
Okay. So how did you get started into this?
So I got into it late, man. I wanted to do video game design when I
Yeah.
graduated from high school. So when I went to college, I was an art major technically because they where I went to school didn't have a video game design program. Where I went to undergrad, and I was trying to do this animation program, which is kind of the closest, I would say, like the closest analog to getting into video game design. I was like, okay, let me try to get this digital arts and science major off, and then maybe I could make something happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it just became apparent like right away that I wasn't a very good art student. So like, I kind of knew that like the major I was trying to get into, you have to apply after your sophomore year. So I kind of knew right away like I'm probably not gonna get into this major.
Yeah.
And I happened to do a short film for one of my art classes, and then that was like the only time I felt like I had the best. I felt like I kind of shined in my project because all my shit was super mediocre on the art tip.
Yeah.
So I when I didn't get into that major, when I didn't get into the major I was applying for, I was trying to figure out a way to save my credits. So I had enjoyed doing this short film, and I met one other dude in the class that said he wanted to be a movie director. I was like, okay, this is kind of fun. And he had a camera, so we started like making shorts and stuff, and just like doing
Yeah.
stuff. But like I was still like I won't make video games. Then when I didn't get that major, I was like, man, I'm go ahead and tell him I'm gonna be a movie director. See if I can get an interdisciplinary degree. And that's
Yeah.
what I was doing. So I ended up taking like a year theater and then like a year of like, film analysis and English classes. So I kind of just graduated with a degree that pretty worthless. You know what I'm saying? I don't do no directing. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I gotta start trying to take it seriously a little bit. So of course I didn't. So I went back home. I went back to Montgomery, and then kind of didn't do much for the next couple years because I didn't think I would get into film school. So I was like, I did like a couple music videos. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of just super like lowbrow bootleg.
Mm-hmm.
Me and another homie of mine that I went to school with ended up writing a script just to have something to do. I was like, okay, that was kind of fun. You know what I'm saying? Like writing that script, I was like, okay, I kind of like doing that too. You know what I'm saying? And so after a couple years, I ended up finally applying to film school. And I got into, I didn't get into most of them, but I ended up getting into USC. So I went to film school, and that's when I really started to take it seriously. You know what I'm saying? When I got to film school, I was like, okay, I don't really know why they accepted me, but once I got in and kind of looked around and realized like, okay, I can kind of do this. And so then I started to like take it a little bit more seriously, and just being around film students and classmates, you just kind of pick up stuff from your classmates really, and just
Right.
being in that environment and doing it. I was like, okay, I think I could probably do this, and then from there, it kept going.
Okay, that's kind of like where I'm at with a lot of things right now, because I know when I went to Tuskegee, I got my degree in history, which was like I like history. I played football, but my dreams was I'm trying to go to play football professionally. So it's like really fuck school, like for real, for real. I'm a pass because I want to play, but I really got to do. Like you said, I really got a degree that was kind of worthless. But even though I liked history, it was kind of worthless because I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do after I left Tuskegee. And well, before I was finna leave Tuskegee, because I had people that I came into school with, they doing internships during school, and I'm just training for football. I took football very seriously, but they wasn't what God wanted for me in my plans. But I ended up doing music though. Started doing music at Tuskegee, and then that I've been doing that since 2013. But now I always like to act and like to critique videos and movies and stuff like that. So now I started picking up a camera like 3-4 months ago. So now I've been shooting videos and doing shorts like you've been doing, like, and people are really gravitating towards, because I watch so many movies and so many TV shows. I like to critique how I've been catching myself. I've been critiquing it like a film director would anyway, but seeing how how different transitions are. But I learned from one of my guys that used to shoot my music videos for me. About a couple of my guys. One of them named Diego. He out here in Montgomery. He shoot videos and he record people down here in Montgomery. So I kind of picked up off him, and one of my son's guys' dad, my best friend T. He went to Full Sail for filmmaking.
I went
And
to the West, so I was like right down the street from Full Sail.
yeah, and he went there, got his master's there, and I just used to watch him and pick up on little things. Like you said, you picked up on your classmates. I picked up some skills from them on how they do. Cause like at first I was like, man, I need a cameraman to shoot these videos and help me with this content, and then just everybody like money talk. So you really can't. It ain't the industry ain't the same how it used to be where you can really kind of link up with somebody and y'all start doing work. Everybody, and I want everybody to get paid because I don't want people just taking their time out and doing stuff for free and that like I'm leeching off on, which I'm not because I ain't that type of guy. But one day I just said, fuck it, I'm just gonna do this shit my damn self, and I just started shooting. So now this is where I'm at, man. I'm doing this, and I'm like I said, I'm happy to have you on here, bro. Definitely happy to have you on here. So we kind of talked about what inspired you and how did you get started. So it's a question. When I started this platform, there was a question I asked everybody because I came up with a song called Him. And at first I didn't have the acronym for it, having infinite motion, because I was just making a song to put myself back into music because I took a hiatus. I'm still kind of on a hiatus. We still kind of pushing the song right now, but my main focus right now is building this platform because it has the most traction right now than my music.
I mean,
So,
I grew up making music, so I get it.
Yeah. So when I had went to Miami, I went to Miami in March, and I'm like, I came up with the acronym. I spoke with one of my partners. He's like, yeah, bro, that's a fire-ass acronym. So I was trying to see how I can have it resonate with men and women. And when I went to Miami, I was like, man, how am I gonna push this song? Because I went to Miami to shoot a little live performance video for the song. And that was gonna be one thing of content I can use to help push the song. But like, I'm thinking like, what the fuck else could I do to help push this song and to help build my brand up a little more? And so I was like, fuck, because at first I was like, man, I'm gonna just send a song to everybody and they make a video or a reel using the song where they within their motion and stuff like that. But the shit wasn't moving fast enough. People weren't getting back to me. It just felt stagnant. So I said, fuck it. I'm just gonna start asking people what does having infinite motion mean to them. So I start going to I went up to random people in Miami with my camera on my phone, just holding my phone. And I ain't had a little body mics or nothing like that. I just started with using my phone with a few businesses, and everybody was receptive of it. And it started building up. I got back and got me a mic, got me a little wireless mic, and start getting a little more professional with it. Now we since then from the phones, hell yeah, having infinite motion. So we the motion is definitely elevated. So the next question I'm gonna ask you, what does it mean to you? What does having infinite motion mean to you?
I mean, honestly, when I hear that, I just think like, honestly, like just kind of, and I hate Nick Saban because I'm a Gator, but it's like, it's like the process. You know what I'm saying? When I think of it, you know what I'm saying? It's like that's just being process oriented. You know what I mean? Like working. And because like when people say have emotion, you know what I'm saying? They think like when I hear it on the surface, it's like okay, you got something going on, but like honestly, like when you think about it, just in terms of just like being in motion and like putting in the work and just like you know what I mean. Like if you have an emotion in me, like you always working on something, not necessarily always got something that's going, but like we we graduated from USC. Me and my homeboy that I write with one of my classmates that I went to USC with.
Yeah.
And like we graduated, we he did a lot of gaffing with like lighting, at USC. I did a lot of sound design, like mixing, dialogue editing, Foley. Like I did a lot of sound. And kind of the options when we graduated for working was like, okay, he might be able to kind of PA some, do a little gaffing on the low, and then try to work his way up that chain. And then I could potentially get to work at one of my classmates started a sound company. So I could do that and like do like ADR and like and do dialogue editing, kind of just be in a lab somewhere on Pro Tools, just like, cutting dialogue. Or we can like take a gamble on ourselves and just start writing a lot of scripts in the meantime, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, we instead of like going to the the most obvious jobs that we had available to us when we graduated, we decided to apply to all of these different fellowships and writing competitions and use each one of them to write a different script. So just to have more material. So like when I'm thinking about like having infinite motion, I was like, that was the infinite motion period, you know what I mean? Where we took a couple of months and like we wrote like 4-5 scripts and a couple of months we did ABC's TV fellowship. We applied to Sundance, the TV lab and the screenwriters lab, Universal lab. And so each of those things, we just wrote a different script. And we didn't even care if they turned out good. We didn't like dwell on it. We didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, let's do it. Okay, we finish the first draft. Let's do the second. We just like finish it on to another one. You know what I'm saying? And like, actually, like what happened when you doing that much writing in a short period of time is like you just start kind of feel yourself getting better and better and better. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, like if you go to the gym every day and shoot 1,000 shots, after a couple of months, you're gonna make more of them than you was making the first time. So the first day. So that's what I think about, like, like them periods where you really just like trying to get better just in general, just for the sake of getting better at it, you know what I'm saying?
I like that.
It pays off in weird ways, you know what I'm saying? So
definitely. I like that, bro. I like that synopsis on that. Okay, next question. If you could connect with 3 people to increase your motion, who would they be and why? It don't matter who it is. It can be your partner that you write with and 2 other people, or you can be somebody you've always wanted, 3 other people you always wanted to work with, But we always trying to elevate to the next level.
Good question. I mean, obviously, I feel like it's cheating to say like a writing partner because we, that's a given. But I would say, honestly, like I would be trying to connect with probably like a Charlie Kaufman, like somebody who like directors, writers, like people who I feel like, I have a lot to learn from. You know what I'm saying? Like I would love to like sit down with a Chris Nolan or, the Coen brothers, Quentin Tarantino, just to kind of having made one movie and seen, I've seen the process from the writer standpoint, like in terms of like I've been on set, like, but not wearing them particular shoes. And so it was a lot different on the director side, but like just being able to, being able to pick their brain and kind of, knowing that they, you know what I'm saying, like every single weird thing that a lot of weird shit happen, of course, like directing it, but like they presumably, I would imagine they done seen it all and then some. So it's like I would say, like screenwriters who write, kind of the types of scripts that I would like to, be talented enough to write one day, like, Charlie Kaufman, I would say, come to learn. Then I would say, like, Steven Spielberg, Martin Scorsese, Chris Nolan, Quentin, Coen brothers. Said pick 3, so I'm gonna say Coen brothers, Charlie Kaufman, Quentin Tarantino.
I like Quentin Tarantino, especially Django is really my favorite movie by him. Django, that's my favorite movie by him. He definitely did his big one right with that one, and plus he had, like I said, he had my favorite entertainer in there. Well, one of my favorite entertainers, my first favorite entertainer is Michael Jackson, but like musically and film wise, Jamie Foxx, cause like dog, that nigga there, he's something serious.
Jamie is a genius though. He is like for real. Like
bro,
like out of bed and kind of do whatever you want him to do.
Man, what? Because like one of his best roles to me was Ray. Because I already knew he musically could handle the piano section. I didn't know this. I knew he could sing, but like that nigga, he make his voice sounds, he can mimic anything, really. This man really sound like Ray Charles. And when I found out that they glued his eyes shut for the whole film, I'm like, yeah, to me, I would have acted a damn fool. Like, bro, I can't open my fucking eyes and shit. Like, but he really get into his roles and he really can play anything. So like, I'm glad he was in your movie, dog. I'm definitely glad. That was great right there. So next question, okay. How is your emotion impactful to the community? I feel like the movie in general was impactful to the community, especially our culture from
Yeah,
the standpoint.
I'm not good with them kind of questions because it's like how it's like I don't it's hard for me to say because different people don't take different things away from you. So it always sounds like you patting yourself. It sounds like you patting yourself on the back. You like let me tell you how
Yeah.
this is better. It's like I don't know. I mean, hopefully it just gave people something to enjoy for a couple hours. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll take that. You know what I'm saying? If you just watching it and enjoying it, you know what I'm saying? You and a couple of friends just at the crib and just put it on, you know what I'm saying? Like I think that's impact enough, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Getting some escapism for a little bit, you know what I mean? And anything beyond that is bonus points.
Yeah. It's whatever anybody can interpret from it.
Like we just set out to like make something that we would enjoy if we saw it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that our friends would enjoy and like like people I grew up with like if they saw it, would they like it? And then you hope that that specificity is universal, and multiple different types of people would like it, and
Yeah.
And so I think from there, everything that comes from it is just kind of like icing on the cake for real.
Okay. All right then. Okay, next question. Okay, this kind of throw it off right here. We gonna it ain't throw it off, but it's kind of a fun question to me. I feel like it's a little fun question. What athlete would you compare your motion to? See me, I think Kobe Bryant is who I compare my motion to. So, and why though? Why though?
Damn, that's a um athlete. That's a good question. I would say like a Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson.
Not like in the sense of like trying to be a multi hyphenate. You know what I'm saying? Like play football and baseball. You know what I'm saying? So it's I think it's like trying to develop and branch into more than just specifically screenwriting, specifically directing, trying to branch into producing. So like those are like very different disciplines. You know what I'm saying? They tax different parts of the brain. Obviously, there's some overlap, but they're like very different skill sets. You know what I mean? And like just because you're good at one doesn't mean you'll be good at another one. And so to aspiring to be like Bo Jackson, to be able to be a talented, director, a talented writer, like, and I think that's people will watch and they'll make up their own mind how they feel about how good something is to watch. But like, that's the goal is to be able to be an all-star in
Okay.
multiple disciplines.
You will, my brother. I like that. I like that. Okay, so what song would you say best describes your motion? My song I will pick is Kendrick Lamar's "Count Me Out." That's the song I feel like describes my motion right now.
A straight up like describes the motion. I got songs that count me out. How you can be petty and put like, the petty man would say some Drake like, "How about now?" Or the petty man would say something like that. But I ain't gonna say no shit. I mean, damn,
That's a good question.
Yeah, because it's not asking me my favorite song. It's asking
Yeah.
what song I describe to my, again, that's like I keep going back to like, like Kid Cudi, My World, you know what I'm saying, off of Man on the Moon,
Mm.
you know, or like I mean Kid Cudi got them songs that's like, them shonen anime, you just got you feeling like, Deku off My Hero. So you know what I mean? Like I'm sitting there wearing a bebop shirt right now. It's so like I like them. I like when I think about that, I feel like my brain immediately goes to Kid Cudi because he makes that kind of like underdog music, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He make like that kind of aspirational music. Um, yeah. I was gonna go with a different song till I heard the end of your question, and then
Yeah.
I've heard the complete question. Like, okay, so I was gonna say Liberation, but um, I ain't gonna go with Outkast for this one. I'm gonna say Cudi. I'm gonna say Cudi. My World.
Okay. All right then. All right then. All right then. See, when I ask that question, it definitely gets folks like, damn, look like, what would I say? Because niggas be like, yeah, that's a good ass question.
If you want to say your favorite artist, I mean, my
Yeah.
impulse is to go and like, okay, pick a song from your favorite artist, and then I'm like, but that's not exactly the question. Like the first thing that popped in my mind is the Cudi, so I'm gonna say the Cudi. And he is one.
Yeah, like Kendrick, he's one of my favorite, but my favorite rapper is Wayne. But Kendrick is definitely one of my favorite artists, but because he definitely make, like you said with Cudi, he definitely makes some aspirational music, and he definitely makes some just music with substance in it. And that whole album he did this year, the Mr. Morale and the Big Step, is I play that shit religiously. And I would also say I was also add another song. I don't know if you listen to Earth Gang, but they got
I mean, Outkast is my favorite group, so I like Earth Gang. You know.
hell yeah. I be
And
comparing.
another song that makes me think about actually is it's gonna be a super deep cut, and it's not my favorite song from him, but it is the song that I think even more than the Cudi actually describes. Like I really like identified with the lyrics. Like okay, I can feel what he's saying. It's actually Childish Gambino. He got a song off his uh, super old mixtape called Cul-de-sac called The Last.
Yeah,
And
I
I was
heard it.
The Last. The lyrics I think are the most applicable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say with Earth Gang, they got an album called Ghetto Guys, but the song Ghetto Guys on the album, that's would be another song that describes my emotion. And that's kind of a petty thing because with the chorus is like niggas crazy think they fucking with me. And so it's like, these niggas ain't fucking with me on some type shit like that. But then I'm not being cocky or arrogant. I'm confident in my motion. I'm confident in my craft right now. So
I mean that's how you gotta be though. I mean, at least in terms, you definitely gotta think, you the shit.
hell yeah, because if you don't, ain't nobody gonna think you the shit for real. Because you got to believe that shit first. So shit. Because I had did a because I have this segment where I call it having infinite motivation, where I drop motivational jewels each day. Well, not each day, but on days of the week. And one of my topics was uh stop being humble, because when you look at the actual definition of being humble or humility, is just like low in dignity, low in importance of oneself. So how can, I mean, only people we need to be humble with is God, I feel like, because if you're lowering your dignity and lowering your importance to make somebody else feel comfortable because they're not secure in the gifts and the purpose God gave from them, or they haven't reached that peak of where they're trying to walk into what he called them to be, then you shouldn't be around those type of people. Because if you got to lower your importance or just to hold back from what God has done for you, not saying you bragging or throwing shit in anybody's face, but if you are happy about your accomplishments and you're happy and you're boastful in what he's done for you and what you're able to do and the gifts he gave for you, I feel like that's not wrong, in my opinion. And I had people feeling me, I don't know who disagreed, but I know I had a lot of people fucking with what I had to say. But that's just that's how I feel about that with that song. What that song is speaking to me with Ghetto Guys. Niggas crazy think they fucking with me, because I don't think nobody fucking with me, even though there's some great people out here that's doing they're doing they want to, and I love it. I ain't gonna down them, I ain't gonna bash them. But in my own right, my only competition really is me, for real. So that's the only competition I see, because I'm just trying to be better each day than the person I was the day before. And like you said, mastering different disciplines, and got to be disciplined in all aspects and areas of what I'm trying to accomplish in. So okay, let's go to this next question, man. What is your biggest challenge you're facing in your role right now, and how are you tackling it?
Right now, my biggest challenge is, I would say, actually trying to articulate it. You learn a lot of stuff, going through it. You kind of see how the machine works and how the sausage is made, and it influences kind of creatively. It influences like what you gravitate towards. I think the hard part is, say, take the next movie I want to pick. We went out with Tyrone. You know, most people was like, do this. Most people conventional wisdom was like, no one's probably gonna buy this, bite on this from like a first time director, and people just kept saying yes. Oh shit, like I didn't expect it to like continue to snowball the way it did. But like I always wondered, the tricky part is like knowing what I know now in terms of like dealing with just all of the hurricane of forces that's like conspire to like keep it from existing, like at all times like a movie's trying to fall apart. I'm like, I don't even know if I would take Tyrone out and pitch it having already made Tyrone. You know what I mean? Now I have all of these logistical concerns and like things like relating to like creative control, and what I'm saying, like having autonomy within the studio system, and like wanting it to be released theatrically. And now when you're thinking about it, you think about ideas. Now you have a checklist of things that you weren't thinking about before, but now you're thinking, and it's like, and now you are now having a greater awareness of just kind of what a certain level of autonomy feels like, and wanting to maintain it as best as possible, knowing like, okay, if you go theatrical, it's like the hardest part is actually kind of drowning out that thought process, because it's kind of like it kind of creates like that paralysis by analysis. But now it's like, oh, I like this idea. You're like, well, do this idea. What studio is likely to buy it? Because different studios got different personalities. Like, okay, if I did this idea, who would the buyers be? What would the budget be? Like now you're thinking about all of this, and it's like, okay, well, but if I did this project, this would be half the price. I might be able to get this, box office return. So it's like, instead of thinking like, which one do I like the most, and just roll the dice and go with it. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like when you're thinking about, like when you're thinking about ideas and you're filtering them through such a pragmatic lens, it's hard to balance. So that's the hardest thing, because you can't ignore it, because you know what you know now. So you know more, that you've seen it go through the filtration process. So you understand the potential pitfalls that'll fuck it up. The next time, man, if I made Tyrone again, if only I had known this when I was making it before, I would have been able to avoid X, Y, and Z. So now, in the back of your mind, you got an idea, you're anticipating X, Y, and Z, and sometimes that can come in conflict with just like making it the way you want to make it. You like before you even get the note. That makes sense. Like you are anticipating the resistance and trying to avoid the resistance before it even hits you. You know what I mean? And like one part of you intellectually knows that like it makes sense to be mindful of like all of the potential pitfalls. And on the other hand, intellectually, you know, like this is probably not the most artistically sound way to approach something. So it's like you are trying to completely, like, once you go into like writing mode, ignore everything that you just learned for the sake of like doing it creative the way you really want to do it. You know, but it's hard to ignore. So that's the hardest thing I would say.
Okay. I dig it. I definitely dig that. Okay. All right. So let's get to some questions about the movie. Do you have like a favorite scene within the movie or scenes? Because I know when we spoke at homecoming this past week, I mean this past couple of weeks, um, I let you know that my favorite scene was the symbolism that you used with the two guys fighting in the lab down in the basement of the lab with the different type of music and how music affects the moods and the emotions of our people. So do you have like that was one of my favorite scenes right there with that type of symbolism. And also what was the symbolism within the church scene? Because it made me the church scene made me laugh because I think you had like David Allen Greer looking like Frederick Douglass in the church scene. I just want to know the symbolism behind that and if you had any favorite scenes within the movie.
Um, Honestly, I think my favorite scene to shoot is probably destroying the lab. But my favorite scene in the movie, it's kind of hard to. I look at a scene and think about like what you wanted out of it. And sometimes you get close to that, and sometimes you feel like some shit went sideways. Um, my favorite scene in the movie, scene in the movie was probably him sitting outside with Junebug drinking the Capri Sun, and that scene got. And so just the fact that it's like that I like it is like, oh, you know, like because that day was like a mess. But like I think it's my favorite scene how it came out. You know, when they destroyed shooting it, definitely I would say destroy, like, you know, just smashing shit. We had like Nuck If You Buck playing on the speak, you know what I'm saying? All playlist and shit, you know. And then as far as the church scene, I mean, honestly, I say this always sounds like the lamest answer, but it's like I don't have no interpretation. Like I do, but like if I tell you what we was thinking when we was writing it, then it's going you're gonna take it as canon, and there is no canon. You know what I mean? Like because so many people have told me different interpretations. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. You know what I mean? Even
Yeah.
if it don't make sense to me, it's still like it's no less valid. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, like if I tell you, oh, you know, the giant white Jesus in the background mean this or the great, you know what I mean? Like if you would watch it and didn't get that, then that ain't what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like it only is what you got when you watched it. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm gonna
I,
go back and watch it tonight then.
I always hesitate to tell people like what I was thinking because I feel like you either gonna like put like this if you watched it and that's not what you thought, then me telling you that ain't really gonna change
I was
that.
like, and I asked that because I didn't really have an interpretation for it. Because I'm like, I kind of figure out. I mean, I kind of figured the church, how the church operates in the hood anyway. How they operate in the hood anyway. You know, you got everybody coming to get their money to the church, and they got millions of churches in the hood and stuff like that. And then people be, you know, they in there catching the Holy Ghost and stuff like that, drinking on the drinking on the grape juice, but we calling it the blood of Jesus and shit like that. I mean, I just like, okay, this is a typical black church in the hood, Baptist church or whatever type of church, whatever have you. I really didn't know if there was any type of symbolism behind it. But the crazy thing about it was, you know, they had one of the gateways to the lab was in the church through the pulpit and stuff like that. So, you know, that's why I really asked because I didn't see any interpretation from it. I was like, okay, this is a typical black church in the hood. So the chicken part was funny as fuck to me too because niggas do be laughing and happy when they eating chicken and stuff like that. and I kind of got some more out of it, but I don't want to go too into detail because I don't want you to be having to explain yourself for real fully about the movie because there are some different interpretations, and I want to keep it smooth on the interview.
Oh yeah, it's like whatever interpretation somebody got. The movie is in the world at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Can't go to everybody's living room and say, no, actually, we was trying to, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it is what it is.
Okay, so these questions I've been asking, I'm gonna start asking now. It's just like I had went on my Facebook page and I already had my set of questions that I was gonna ask you, and I was just wanting some more people's point of view for what they would like me to ask. Some of these questions are from people like on my Facebook page and my Instagram page. It's nothing far fetched. Somebody asked, how much of the movie was improvised by the actors, or was it completely by the script, the whole movie?
No, it was a lot of improv. I think like usually what happens is like they'll take the scripted line and do like alts, right? So like for example, like with a lot of Jamie's lines, like there'll be a similar line, but he'll say his own version of it, right? So like I can point to a lot of them. Like when he comes out the back seat and it's like, get your fake Obama looking ass. You know what I'm saying? Like he said that because he looked at the actor and was like, he likes it. You know what I mean? Like you know what I'm saying? So he'll add his own flavor into like what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's you go like went through my haberdasheries is in the script, but passed up on my beige bitch is not because he just looked at he's just playing in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like in the script is like took all my shit, went through all my haberdasheries. And the way Jamie filters it, it becomes a blend of the scripted line and a blend of the improv. You know what I'm saying? Like he always find things in between, you know what I'm saying? And so
I figured he was doing majority of the improvisation a lot.
Only when improv stuff. I mean, Tiana improvs, really Jay Alphonse has some great improv. A lot of his character was influenced by how we kind of saw how he was. We was rewriting stuff for him once we saw how he was playing the character, right? So, he's a darker character in the script. Original script. He's like more just, but then like Jay Alphonse is super funny, you know what I'm saying? And just his improv was so good that we naturally started like leaning the character towards his personality and like when we see double, we know it's trouble. Like he say that on the news at the end. That was straight improv. Like the whole crew was laughing. You know what I'm saying? Like that whole bit is like different from what it is in the script. Even though it's the same idea, but they're like, I ain't fuck with him, and like you know what I'm saying, we had to storm the castle and all of that they said in the news, but they just personalized it. So
yeah.
People are really, really, really talking shit, there's a decent chance that it's improv. Like there's like when Jamie and Tiana are arguing, if it's something that's a plot point, it's scripted. Like so if there's plot points buried into it, it's probably scripted. So it's like, when they arguing in the back of the car, that's all scripted, right? Like, in terms of like take that, wig off your peanut shaped head, like that's all in the script because you take the wig off, like, you know what I'm saying? And he say like, you know what I'm saying, like I slip out of this Goodwill suit, be back in it before it get wrinkled. Like that's in the script because he does it at the end of the movie. He slips out like a ninja, And so the shit talking that has plot points is like scripted. A lot of the shit talking that is that isn't directly related to a plot point is probably a little bit different from the scripted line. And then every once in a while, it'll just be something that's totally not scripted, like when he's like, why so it's gonna be black on black crime? Like that was just they was just supposed to stare down, you know what I'm saying? And like like take this shit, dramatic ass, you know what I'm saying? That was the line, you know what I'm saying? And then like he closed the door and said, y'all ain't shit,
Okay.
Like Lucky I'm in Love, like that interaction, the door is scripted, but like the why someone's got me black on black crime? They're supposed to support these niggas. Like that was That was just supposed to be a stare down, you know what I'm saying? And then he was just supposed to go, take your shit, you know what I'm saying? So Jamie put, you know, like Ghost of Christmas Past is Jamie, you know what I'm saying? He just threw that in there, you know what I'm saying? And so he'll find ways to slide things in between the dialogue and keep it sounding natural. You know.
Fact. Okay, so did you get the original people that you wanted casted, or so was the people that you had casted, were those the original people that you wanted? And if not, who did you think should be casted for it?
I can't answer that. I can't really answer that question. I can.
Don't answer the last question.
Answer part B of that. But it's yes and no. So there's some actors who weren't. There's certain, like we actually casted someone. If you go on Google, you can see who it was. But we actually had casted someone when we thought it was a much smaller movie. So we didn't know the movie wrote its side. So like I never in a million years thought that Jamie Foxx would even be an option. So it's not like we went out to Jamie Foxx right away, because like I wouldn't expect him to, you know what I mean? Like that's like saying if you made a movie and it's like you had Will Smith in it, but you never made a movie before, whoever, you know what I mean? Leonardo DiCaprio. It's like, was he your first choice? Like spiritually, yeah, but I went to because I didn't think he would say, you know what I mean? Like we always thought Jamie would be like an amazing type of, like someone like Jamie Foxx would be great. But I'm not thinking that Jamie Foxx is gonna be in the movie. You know what I'm saying? So it's like in some ways I can say yes, and in other ways like he's not the first person we try to get.
Yeah. Okay. So how did y'all feel about people saying that Jamie Foxx was cloned when he got sick, especially when the movie came out? Like he was like fresh and brand new, ready to go.
That was some crazy timing, but like. I mean, you think about it this way. We shot the movie in 2020 and 2021. Mm-hmm. The movie came out in 2023, you know what I'm saying? Like when we were shooting in 2020, in December and through the spring of 2021, we definitely wasn't like 2 years from now, we gonna stage it. You know what I'm saying? I thought this movie was gonna come out like a year and a half ago. You know what I'm saying? But we was in post for so long that by the time it came out, it was like, ain't this about a bitch? Like the timing is so suspicious looking at. It's like people can't help but like, what?
Yeah, did y'all clone this nigga?
I mean, like honestly, like he really has some. Mind you, I have no idea what the fuck is going on with him in terms of that. I talked to him one time. He sounded like he was doing better. You know what I'm saying? But like, I don't got his phone, you know what I'm saying? Like I had his old phone. Put like this. Celebrities, they change their number all the time. So it's like I haven't talked to Jamie, you know what I'm saying, before. I just talked to him a couple months ago, like when he was kind of just getting out of that swing. And before that, I hadn't talked to him in like a year. You know what I'm saying? Like, because again, we finished shooting this movie in 2021. Yeah. You know 2023 about to be 2024. You know what I'm saying? So Jamie finished the movie. He got other movies he shoot. It's not like I'm, you know what I'm saying, like in constant communication with him. So it's like I ain't have no idea what was going on with him for real. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like I was worried just like everybody else. Like I hope
this nigga all right.
Like yeah, like I hope you can't even really focus on promoting the movie because you like, man, I hope Jamie Foxx is okay.
Yeah.
It's like when the clone room and they're like, Jamie is a genius too, though, right? Like he, and I don't know if it was he was on his phone or someone else posted, but he posted like, "I'm not a clone of Tyrone," or something like that. Like he played into it on his Instagram. You know what I'm saying? He did clone Tyrone or something like that. So like Jamie not stupid. He gonna play into it too to get the, you know what I'm saying? Because he, it's like SAG strike, actors can't promote. Jamie had clearly whatever was going on. So it's not like he's gonna be out promoting and be able to be out, in any event. And so like in whatever little way he can, you know what I'm saying? I think he threw a little fuel on the fire.
Yeah. Because that was some time, that was some weird but perfect timing for the movie, I feel like.
I mean, how could it not be? Like it was the weirdest time in the ball. You know what I'm saying?
And I think, like, bro, I think that, like, to me, that helped motherfuckers who didn't know about the movie. Like, yo, let me tap into this movie, see what they talking about, because, like, this nigga Jamie go on a hiatus, say he on the damn near death bed, then he come back, he straight, he good. I'm not a clone, but they cloned Tyrone, because I was watching his Instagram too. I'm like, bro, I hope my nigga straight, because I hope he don't die or nothing be bad happening to him.
You worried like I'm hoping he all right. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
something like that, you're like, okay, I know he must be at least somewhat all right if he posted.
yeah,
Even if someone got his phone or like whoever's posting, if it's him or somebody on his account, if he wasn't at least somewhat all right,
yeah.
it was
So what
dire.
was so what was the budget for the movie? If you can answer that one.
Yeah. So the budget is funny because we never learned the official budget. It was a lot of in that way it was a lot of like smoke and mirrors ain't the right word, but like we be like how much, like they always just in pre-production they would always say you over budget. You're like, okay. We sold it to them. We initially pitched it for 8 to 10 mil. That was comically off.
Mm-hmm.
Set up with macro first, then we went back after we set up with macro, wrote the script. Like we sold it without a script, and we set up with macro, wrote the script. They budgeted it at like 15 to 18 million. That was also too low, So we went back and we ended up partnering with Netflix, and it was gonna be 25. Yeah. Then Jamie attaches. The people's eyes get bigger, the appetites get bigger. But once you got a star, like it forces your movie to, because I mean, even
Get bigger.
Jamie fee alone is gonna kill our budget. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
budget goes to like talent. You know what I'm saying? Like above the line people like, and so it's probably like on screen. I would say probably 40 to 45.
Yeah, because the other main character, the one that kept on getting killed, he's definitely a damn top of the line actor as well.
Top, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
John stars, you know what I'm saying? So you got, again, people do it for less. So they will do it on a discount, but like you do got to pay them, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like what killed our budget is COVID. So it's like our testing was millions and millions of dollars just for testing.
Mm-hmm.
So we were in a sequester, you know what I'm saying? So like from September 2020 to like April, they bought out a whole hotel for the group, right? And so all of the COVID related costs cost as much as the movie costs.
Damn. Sheesh. 2020 was definitely a creative but damn costly making year.
The COVID shit was crazy. Like so like I don't even know what the final number is, but it's got to be like 80, 90 million.
Damn.
I'm not saying if you watch an $80 million movie that was 80 million, it's gonna have a lot better production value than Tyrone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we had a $45 million movie that cost probably 80, 90 because I mean testing cost 13 million just for the swabs for the crew. But you gotta understand this is 2020. They barely the Q-tip was this long. We put it in the back of your brain. You had to get tested 3 times a week. You have a own personal facility that testing crew that takes it to the facility overnight, not even overnight, during the day. And so like it was a wrap, you know what I'm saying? Like what you gonna do? Where else you gonna get a test? So they was busting heads they was making a ton of money on all these movies back then with testing.
That's crazy right there.
You couldn't get a CBS and get a COVID test in like 2020. You know what I'm saying? Like it was only like medical professionals. You had to go to like the test. And so, there wasn't no such thing as like going to CVS and getting the Binax test and like having your results in like 20 minutes. And so it's like it's just kind of could charge what they wanted, I guess. I don't even know. I just know that the testing was stupidly expensive. And then extra, have to pay the crew more because they have to sequester, they can't go home. And so like the budget definitely exploded with COVID for sure.
Okay, well, I got a few more questions for you. I'm gonna get you up out of here, my boy. About 2, 3 more, but they ain't nothing too extensive. So, how were the songs picked for the soundtrack for the movie?
Yeah, I was about to say earlier, like dude I grew up making music with composed the movie.
That's dope.
Desmond Murray, we grew up making music together, just since we was in like 7th grade.
Okay.
And he's the composer. And then another guy named Pierre Charles came on toward the tail end, and he was also a composer on the movie. So I mean, definitely shout out to Pierre Charles as well. But like, so with the before we had a script, we knew we wanted Erykah Badu. The second the movie was the show gonna be called Cloned Tyrone, the very next thought was like, we gotta get Erykah Badu and shit. So,
definitely.
I think with everybody else, I mean, honestly, we had Republic had like pitched to do the soundtrack, so we partnered with Republic, and that's like Drake's label. And they have big, one of the biggest labels. I think Taylor Swift might be on Republic too. Like it's like Universal's biggest label. Nicki Minaj. They pitched to us, and so we ended up pairing with Republic. So a lot of it comes through like the label politics, and like who ends on what song, and then a lot of it was like shout out to our music supervisor, dude Philippe Pierre. He kind of connected us with a few people too, so that's how we got Saba on the record. You know what I'm saying? Then a lot of it was underground artists that I like. Like part of the agreement to do it with Republic was to be able to use artists that I like. So like Uncle CJ, who's on there, who does the first song on the soundtrack. So like that's the soundtrack element. And then when it comes to like the needle drops, like the Alicia Myers and Renee and Angela, and like the Diana Ross track and Michael Jackson, like those are all written in the script for the most part. Not all. Like Michael Jackson's in the script, Renee and Angela's in the script. And a lot of that is just like trial and error. Our assistant editor, shout out to Rob, by AU, we was trying to find a song for like the montage underground. It was like, we was going through all these tracks, and it's like, man, I did Diana Ross. I'm like, damn, that's it. And then so as soon as he pitched Love Hangover, it was like, oh yeah, that's perfect. So he wrote the movie to a soundtrack, to a playlist of a bunch of like 70s and 80s R&B. You know what I'm saying? So we had big Spotify playlist with a lot of the songs that ended up in the movie on there while we was writing it.
Okay. All right, then that's dope. I like that. Wow. Okay. So, what's the next movie? What's the next movie? Is another movie in the works, or is that gonna be like They Cloned Tyrone sequel, or?
There'll be no sequel, but definitely. I mean, what it's gonna be, I don't know yet. So we working on Tony's script right now, or he's gonna take out and pitch to direct. So that's the thing we're immediately working on. So my writing partner, we both went to school for directing, so he helped me write mine. I'm helping him write his. He produced it with me, so we write and produce together. We write his, and then I'm trying to narrow down which of a few ideas. Like I was saying earlier, that's the hard part, is narrowing down which specific movie I want to try to do next, because they use pros and cons in terms of just like budget level to what I'm saying, stuff like that. So I genuinely don't know.
Okay, all right. So last question right here. So do you ever have writer's block? And if you do, how do you deal with it?
Yeah, I mean, all the time. I mean, I think you got to brute force your way through writer's block, though. I mean, writer's block, I think, is the natural state of existence. I think my natural state is like not knowing what to write, not knowing what to do, And I think like brute force and like craft kind of help you get through that. You know what I'm saying? Like me and Tony, when we write something, we'll write every day. He about to be over here. We about to be writing today. And I think like we might only be productive for maybe an hour or two out the day. He might come at like 1 o'clock and leave at like 10 at night, 11 at night, 12, depending on what phase of it we in.
Mm-hmm.
But like if we are breaking the story and figuring out the plot, we might be chilling for 8 hours and just be playing video games, watching YouTube, go out to eat some food. We might work for and the whole time we trying to think of shit, but like, we might work for like an hour or two, really productive, but then every single day we'll do it. And so it's like, I think a lot of times you have to just kind of brute force.
Yeah.
Sitting down, like, whatever it is, like you sitting down at an empty computer looking at an empty blank page, whatever it is, like you got to kind of brute force your way through it. You know what I'm saying? Especially like once it's an actual like job and like somebody is expecting me to turn something in, like, all right, we waiting on the script to come back. It's like, you got to turn it in. So I think a lot of ways, the same way, like, whenever you had an assignment in school, like you could be writer's block, but somehow you had the night before, like, whatever it is, like, them deadlines just create that, like,
that dogging.
You know what I'm saying? So being consistent and like, repetitive in terms of just like how often you kind of sit down when you quote unquote writer's block, you know what I'm saying? It's like the more you attack it, the more likely it is that like, oh, you get this one small little idea and you just explore, like, and it might not work out. And I think one of the other thing I would say to that though is like the less attached you are to making it perfect, the easier it is to get out of it, right? So like for me, a lot of times it's like, you don't sit down and write it until it's like exactly how you want to, you try to figure it all out. And then sometimes you have to just write it when you haven't completely figured it out. Just to get it
go ahead, get it out the way.
On the page, just so you can come back and revise it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Revising it is a lot easier than, depends on person. For me, revising it is easier than coming up with it in the first place. Like the brute force, like creating something from nothing is like the most labor intensive part. Revising is just like, it's labor intensive, but it's iterative. So like, all right, you write it again. Okay, write it again. Oh, that was okay. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's iterative. So the more times you iterate on it, the more likely it is you're going to find out why it's working, why it's not working. You know what I'm saying? But you got to have something to iterate on. And so a lot of times, like, writer's block, it's like, is a fear of writing something that you don't think is good. You know what I'm saying? And as opposed to write it and then like just acknowledge that like I don't like it that much. And then just from that point, you got something to build off of, you got something to work with. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I know that's like the way I deal with writer's block when I'm trying to write a different song is just write a song in general. I just start going on YouTube or just find beats that I know I can just write like a full verse to, not without a chorus or anything, just to get back in the swing of rapping if I haven't written a song in a long time. And so I just like, all right, I'm just gonna test my lyrical ability. I'm just gonna ease back into this way instead of just if the song not coming as quickly as I want it to come, like because I can write songs like this. But if I'm blocked and I'm not trying to be repetitive in certain songs that I write about, because I don't really like to repeat myself in my music, I want to have different concepts or come at it at different viewpoints, come at it in a different way. So I get myself, the way I do it, I just throw a beat on and just close my eyes and really just start rapping, freestyling to myself. And then if I hear some sounding good, I'll write it down in my phone. Or if I'm working on a song, I just, until I get the melody. When I get the melody, I get my phone and voice memo the melody without even no words. Then when I get the words, and I voice memo that so I can have it to go back and look at it and revise it, like you said. So, but yeah, that's the way I tackle my writer's block right there. But man, I appreciate you hopping on, bro. Definitely appreciate you hopping on this interview, man. And I'm glad to have you. I'm glad to have sat and spoke with you while you had time before you get back into your writing process or whatever you got going on today, man. Definitely appreciate you. Definitely appreciate you, bro. No, no problem, man. But it's Jacoby Browder, aka Jacoby X, having infinite motion with the big dog Juel Taylor, man. Writing director of they Cloned Tyrone. I know you modest, bro, but I'm gonna hype your ass up on my shit. Hey, like I said, we highlight everybody that got motion, and I'm gonna hype you the fuck up. You the big dog, so I'm gonna hype your ass up because I love the movie. I'm gonna go back and watch this shit tonight because I want to see what I can get from the church scene on that motherfucking part right there. But yeah, this is Jacoby Browder, aka Jacoby X. Shout out Go Big Clothing. Shout out Shake the Field, man. Shout out Having Infinite Motion. Shout out Juel Taylor and his people, man. We appreciate you. It's Jacoby Browder. We out, man.
You look at it, man. Think about it under the guise of control. Like, in other words, think about all of the steps of the detective part of the movie, and think about how. Think about it under the lens of, like, you know, what Nixon said, what Kiefer Sutherland character says. You know, think about it. Controls. I give you that breadcrumb. You know, for the church scene.
Okay. All right, then, my brother. I appreciate that. Like I said, hold it down, bro. Be great. Be blessed. Hopefully sometime when you come back to Montgomery, I can chop it up with you in person again, man. All right, my brother.
All right, peace.
Yes, sir.